The husband. As I sat in bed most of the day and wrote, surfed social media, binge watched Grey's Anatomy, Station 19, 911, and Law and Order, you can't help but also pay more attention to the things and people around you. And that's when I truly saw who my husband was. Upon watching him, analyzing him, I realized some very important things. He was a strong son of a bitch, both physically and mentally. Nothing seemed to bother him, but it was like he was detached from the world at times, and that bothered me. Yes, it kept him strong for us, but I felt it wasn't good either. He didn't talk to his sister because of strife involving his deceased brother-in-law. His death also weighed heavily on his shoulders to this day. Then there was his mother, whom he felt was always against him. I believe he called her his foil, or even his mother-me, mother and enemy, like frenemy. He never told her about his writing, nor about when he left FedEx. In fact, he didn't even tell her about us right away. He felt she was undeserving of knowing. You're too old to have kids. You don't need kids. Marriage isn't for you. You don't need that headache, she had told him. I can understand why he didn't tell her. His mother also came from an extremely abusive home, but Michael always felt that, instead of allowing it to hinder you. Break the chains, excel, be better than who raised you. I've come to terms that my husband needs therapy. He doesn't like to talk to people about these things. And what I know, it came out little by little. He is not one to give away his life story. In fact, I already know he would be upset with me for writing this. But I think it's important. I've asked him to see someone, and he said yes just to appease me in that moment so I wouldn't ask him again. I know, everything has gotten to him. The packed studio of four and a dog, the strain on us, and his own personal demons and regrets. Not wanting to be where he wants to be professionally, and of course having no space or privacy. But through it all, he has never waned in his care of me, nor held that against me, and when I thanked him or my friends would, he wouldn't like that. In his mind, in his heart, he shouldn't be thanked. This is what he had and needed to do. He couldn't see it any other way. It never crossed my mind. He once said in regards of taking care of me, or if he held resentment over that. I believed him. So in the end of all this, I knew I couldn't go on like this. I decided that I needed to forgive him if I wanted my marriage to work, and if I wanted to stop making myself sick. I was going to pray and ask God to save my marriage, but first I had to let my husband know I loved him and wanted to fight for the marriage. Something I admit, even before I was sick, I didn't do a lot either. Tell him that I loved him. I realized that unless I forgive him for his lack of judgment and stupidness, all the prayers in the world wouldn't save us, so I told him, I forgive you, without saying what I was forgiving him for, and I went down on my knees and prayed. Every day I prayed spiritual warfare prayers from the Cindy Trim book, Rules of Engagement. I prayed and I got others to pray with me, and the more we prayed, the more I saw God at work in my life. My husband was touching me again, then we became intimate again. We started to do Saturday outings again. He had returned to sleeping in my bed. This was God at work. The more I saw him answer my prayers, the more I continued to pray and exercise my faith that he would save my marriage. I couldn't put all the blame on him for not sleeping in the bed. As he had stated, I am a super light sleeper and he didn't want to wake me up when he got up. Plus, I created a command station on his side of the bed, laptop, iPad, books, and other various reading materials. Plus, the bed was sunken in on that side. He offered to buy a new one, but I didn't want to spend the money he would. My husband didn't shop for bargains. But then again, ladies, what men do,